They could opt for that at this point, and then just kind of make use of their final bans to try and whittle that pool down a little bit further. But we'll have to see exactly what they do want to pick for Paradise, though, because you need someone who's going to be at least a little bit durable, right? You still need damage, but you're also missing a little bit of lockdown here, which maybe Fade's hero takes care of that, and then Paradise doesn't really have to worry about having any lockdown in his own hero. But as of right now, you're working with what, Bushwhack and Searing Chains, and I think that's just about it. So something to consider for Feld here. Okay, that's
Hmm.
pretty much everything I just said, right? You got a durable hero with high damage and a little bit of lockdown.
Yeah, and in my head, the two heroes was really contemplating over was whether or not this is a good enough Naga game, because of course
Hmm.
you want a carry that's naturally going to build up an Orchid eventually, just because that's the hard punish for Storm Spirit. And I think Naga also would have felt pretty nice versus both the Enigma and the Snapfire, but then Illusion carries versus Marcy. It's tough because as soon as that Unleash comes through, you know which one's real. The AoE pulses make it very apparent. And then a part of me was also like, well, knowing Felt, do they just pick Gyro? But I do think the Felt that the Sven slots in just a little bit nicer and gives them that initiator where Ember Spirit, he's going to play around on the edge of the fights. He can start fights, but he doesn't want to be the one to just blink, go in, stay in. It's where Sven will kind of hold on to that niche. Not the best carry we've seen, and the only time and the only other time we've seen Sven in this tournament so far has been in response to TA, which makes a lot of sense because the Ag Shard, you have so much armor. You take a TA with Deso and you say, oh, well, my team's got 35 armor when I press my E. So, yeah, you're not really doing all too much. But in this case, I think more so just Lane versus Enigma has a stun for Storm Spirit, shores up again some of those lockdown issues. Again, we'll have to see a lot from Paradise, but we'll see. It can work, though.
Hmm. Yeah, the theory is solid. It's just we'll see about the execution, and we'll see what it actually has to outpace and outfarm at this point too, because HFN's hero is the only one that we're missing. But we do have some bans to get through first. Wolf team taking aim at Fade's off lane pool. They start with the Night Stalker. Honestly, probably one of the best bans they could have gone for considering the lineup that they're working with right now. So, not a bad ban. Meanwhile, for Felt, they remove the Life Stealer here, and well, this is kind of the interesting part, right? Wolf team already banned out a lot of carries themselves. Felt took away that HFN Dusa, so obviously HFN can still play a lot of heroes ET, but you've taken a lot of his top choices away. So at this point, if you're Wolf team, what are you really looking at to try and make this work and fit into the rest of this lineup?
Yeah, and I am thinking, because of course, versus the Sven, you want a hero that's going to have maybe a Dispel so you can just purge off the War Cry. You don't want to have to pick something that is just hellbent. I think the obvious choice is probably just Luna here, just because of the, as we always talk about, the pseudo damage with the hero where you can just pop Eclipse. If Sven doesn't have BKB, you just die. And no, they picked
Wow.
TA into the Sven. That is a very different idea and just gave me a whole lot more confidence for Felt here coming into game one because they are definitely the underdogs. They're the ones punching up here versus Wolf team. So, yeah, I am really intrigued as to why they picked that Templar Assassin because not only are you playing versus Fen, but you're also playing versus Undying. You're not a tomb hitter. You will get slowed up by zombies really heavily. And sure, maybe it helps you kill Roche just straight up a lot faster, but if you needed a hero to just kill Roche, Troll was still in the pool. You could have just gone for that. I don't know. Very different. And then Felt last overall pick Death Prophet. Sure,
Yeah.
it'll work. Not bad.
All of a sudden, yeah, this Felt draft looks a hell of a lot better, right? You get Sven against TA, you've got the DP to act as your sort of team fight anchor, just going to be throwing out siphons and popping the Exo whenever possible. So, I don't know. We'll see what HFN does here with this TA, because I can see a scenario here if you've got the Storm and maybe both of the supports with you, where maybe you can just overpower that Warcry, right? If you have a Dessa, if you have the Meld, if you have maybe the little Shredder on top of it, then you just stun him up and work through him anyway. But that's assuming that you're going to catch the Sven basically by himself with a gank squad of 3 to 4 on your own side, and I don't know how many times that scenario actually happens.
Yeah, and last time we did see this matchup, even though the Sven is a very good answer to TA. We did see eventually this Sven just falter. Just
Mhm.
eventually it became too much, but I don't know. I feel like in that game it was more of a team thing and just some unfortunate circumstances. It was like this Sven came online just a bit too late and the buildings were already taken, but I guess we'll have to see because this is definitely kind of a hubris matchup. And not just that, you did get counterpicked in lane here with the Death Prophet. You will just be annoying. You don't really have refraction, and you are severely outranged. So HFN's just going to get hit a lot. And of course, on the other side, you've got Enigma Marcy. You've got that, but now the black hole is your only control. It's where unless that storm is zipping in, and then you're just hoping the Mortimer Kisses is going to be enough to finish it off. We're back to King RD's black hole being your main team fight tool. So that pressure is going to be on.
Mhm. Well, he never liked that situation, right? Black hole is always supposed to be the trump card, the cherry on top, the thing that really gets you over the top, not the if we don't have black hole there is no fight. That's the situation so many teams fall into, and sometimes it works, right? Sometimes your offlaner just absolutely clutches it out for you and you look like a genius, but not all the time. And it's weird to see Wolf Team kind of put a lot of their eggs in that basket because for the most part, ET in the group stage, we did not see that. They really diffused that responsibility across all of their cores.
Yeah, and especially just seeing King RD on a hero that just has a button, only one button, you know. It's a little bit sad with how aggressive he typically likes to play, but that's where for Wolf Team, they do have the more typical lineup. Enigma will get a Wraith Pact. We will see them try to force Roche at 15 minutes into the game with HFN's TA. It has to be a pretty proper response from Felt, and then that's where Wolf Team can just kind of get this game in their own hands, and then gotta be careful, because all it takes is one or two missed exorcisms, you know, team fights where they overextend themselves and then they really start to fall behind. It's where don't let Wolf Team outgame you here. Also, just stick your heads down in these lanes, especially mid, because you can't really afford any of those big advantages early on, especially not in this Spirit matchup. But as we always talk about, that's also where every support is going to be on those runes. Hopefully, no Spirit gets a rune in this game.
We'll also have to see just how much pressure will actually be applied to HFN because, well, not Felt aren't the only team to fall into this trap, but in that series back in the group stage that Wolf Team won, that really was the big kicker. Wolf Team were able to sort of swing things their way in that mid to late game stage through two things: very well executed team fights, and HFN having so much farm that he was just able to push into whatever he wanted to. So, yeah, don't necessarily have to go all in onto him all the time, but they at least need to make sure he doesn't get to that critical mass. As we do have a fight breaking out in the river here. FCR caught by the bushwhack and will get taken down, so Belt draw first blood. They're looking for another kill. Can they track onto HFN, though? They need another bushwhack at this point. Illusion's got it up in 1 second. HFN, though, cuts the tree down. And there's the scatter blast slow, so I don't think they're... Oh, they did! They caught. Now they should have the damage. One or two more hits. Fraction Charge is buying some time. I think HFN lives here. Is there another decay? He's going to pop a mango for it, but he's not going to do it.
No, and well, that's one way to start this laning stage. You have to just tangle up now and kind of bin and grare it. But yeah, they do start to move around as well. And don't know if it's I don't think we call this a foreign dying, but we just get to see them now keep the balance in the lane. So melee support paired up with the Death Prophet, and then the Hoodwink goes off to play with the stun.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up, but it makes sense looking for that sort of particular matchup. And of course, Undying. God, he is going to be annoying in this lane. He did use a lot of mana on that chase, but that's what the mangoes are for, is... Well, Iron's just going to work, hitting up everyone that he possibly can. We'll see whether or not he avoids the Tombstone build here, right? Going up against the Snapfire. It's always a bit of an interesting scenario, because maybe not the last time, but the time before that we saw this matchup, the Undying just went for the Tombstone anyway, and they just kind of angled the fight away from a Snap. Of course, in that instance, the Snapfire was a core, not the support, so that does kind of change up the scenario a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
Well, yeah, no Tombstone. He takes a Soul Rip instead. Gets another kill. Can they get the third? Yes, they can. Crypt Swarm into the tree line, catches KJ, and Felt Oh, 3 on the board in the first 2 minutes, looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff. I just knew that HFN was low. He would have had to pop the refraction. Oh, he didn't pop it? Yep, soul rip, you're dead.
Hmm.
Very free kill. Does need to get that mana reset coming out from him, so HFN gets some free time to last it up here, but perfect stuff from him. Stand-in looking good.
And, you know, I mean, you do have a stand-in, but a stand-in who gets to play Undying is still a pretty fun situation for him. In the meantime, well, middle lane Solji trying to just play up on Sooths right now. They both have their bottles, so we kind of saw this coming a little bit, right? It's a matchup of spirits. They're both just going to be trying to maintain rune control, but don't know if we're going to see any actual aggression out here until level 6s come along and they start rotating.
Yeah, no, the most intriguing thing here in this lane is just that Sooths is struggling to fight for denies a little bit here. Soldier's done a pretty good job of just getting what he can get, not getting too pushed back. He's done some really good cancels of Sooth's bottle as well with the Sleight of Fist, so just little things in the matchup that end up mattering a lot more, so it feels pretty good for him. And Sooths is back to
Sooths,
base, actually.
yeah. Courier was delivering some stuff. I thought that was going to be enough for him, but it really doesn't seem like it. So Solji, well, gets maybe a creep wave or two to himself before the Storm will TP back, and that's 2 lanes. Looking pretty good for Feld. How's the third looking? Up top, Paradise. Well, it's not going to be the most fun lane in the world. You still have to deal with the Eidolons, but you do see Illusion trying to create a little bit of space, although at this point he is getting jumped on, so has to be very careful. I don't think they're going to be able to get into range to hit him up, though, so they shouldn't finish that kill. But plays like that mean Paradise has to be a little bit careful because his support's getting pushed back.
No, for sure. And it is just, I think, the power spike of King RD. And, oh, they'll go
Wow.
again. Another dispose, but Eidolon's timeout. And then you realize, oh, okay, we don't have that much damage here. But you are still the Enigma lane, 19-12. He will just keep on denying creeps, keep on pushing the lane back. Cannot really shut him down here until Paradise have more levels. But back bottom, Iron and Fade, again, being very obnoxious. Now, Iron might get traded out here. Feels like it's, yeah, gotta happen. And a Tombstone, so with the Snapfire support, I imagine HFN will look to just clean it up, but it's where Fade is ignoring the creep wave himself. He knows that, do I want to give this to him for free? Well, there's creep waves I need to hit, but yeah, eventually it just ends up being too much for him.
There we go. Chiffin cleans it up eventually. 125 gold, excuse me, over to the TA. Unfortunate that KJ goes down again there, but at least you get something out of it if you're the Templar Assassin, so not too much loss. But up in the top lane, Illusion does end up getting taken down here, and Paradise is in trouble too. King RD did have to fall back, but he threw out the urn. Shouldn't be enough for the kill, but it made sure the Sven, well, couldn't chase, and now, what does he actually do here? He doesn't have any regen until his support comes back, so... Oh, okay, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, so... Illusion's back in, Paradise heals up and all as well, but was Wolf Team finding the kill there in that lane?
And I am intrigued by Paradise in not going for any early points in Warcry just yet. You got 2 points in Stormhammer. I think large in part just to try and kill the Eidolons as fast as possible. Maybe numbers-wise, it's just a single Stormhammer and then 1 right-click to kill off the Eidolons, but a part of me also thinks that maybe 6 armor would be able to not only save you, but save your support, but, you know, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But mid, Solji will outlays level 6 before Suits, gets aggressive on the runes. Does he have enough help?
He lost the Flame Guard, so he didn't have the damage. Seuss is able to walk away. Meanwhile, down bot, KJ just died. Buys back, though, to defend his teammate under the tower. His Fate is still looking to go here with the Siphon. I don't know if HFN makes it out. He does pop the wand. Can I get anything? He had the mango, but he didn't have the cooldown, so... Okay. Honestly, that's still not terrible. You find the kill onto KJ, and even this early, a buyback kind of ruins your support game a little bit more. So he is basically going to be broke moving forward. It's not a bad play for them, although they're still looking for the kill. Can they take Fade down? No, he doesn't have Scatterblast. Up in the top lane, though, they do get onto Paradise and King RD. He hit 6, but that wasn't with Black Hole. They're just able to stun him up and find that kill. But now they might have to pay the price. Solji's coming in. Where does he want to go? He's looking for King RD first. But King RD still has Black Hole. They have to be so unbelievably careful, because if they get caught like this, Solji's dead, and at this point, Illusion's gonna die too. Paradise TP's in too late, and someone did not relay information there, because that felt ET like a move, assuming that Black Hole had already been used.
Yeah, and yeah, just the perfect timing from King RD, and bottom lane, Suits get the return kills. He punishes the bottom lane, gets a mega kill streak away from Fade, but finally the Storm Spirit also makes a rotation on the game.
Solid rotation as well, and this is a Falcon Blade out from the Storm Spirit. That's a little bit of a different sort of early pickup for the Storm, but health, mana regen, damage. I mean, it's all the things that at least theoretically you do kind of still want on the Storm. It's just haven't really seen that one too often. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not Soul Ring, it's not, you know, a Staff of Wizardry for an early Kaya. It is different, but we'll have to see if it pans out. Does give him a whole lot more HP to play with, you know? That's one of the nice things, but Storm has never really needed too much right-click damage, because you are just kind of a spell man, but Falcon Blade has just been one of the nicest items to build up early on when you feel like you need to jungle a little bit more, so I can get it. And last hit-wise, he is doing pretty nice for himself.
Yeah, I think that's my big thing with the Falcon Blade. If you want to use it to fight, you can do that. If you want to use it to farm, you can kind of do that too, so it's a cheap item. It's versatile. It's just some players don't like it because you want to straight shoot to your big item, but especially on the Storm Spirit, I mean, your laning opponent's going to be rotating like a madman, right? The Ember's going to try to make plays, so maybe a smaller item earlier on allows you to match that sort of move for move.
Definitely, and oh, Illusion Rune on the Ember and TPing top. Here we go.
Okay.
ID.
Oh boy, that's a lot of lockdown God Strength even being used here, so they will secure it. Now they're looking for FCR. Can he somehow get away? No. The Searing Chains are going to lock him down, and Paradise picks up the kill. Their tower, though, did still fall, I believe, to the Eidolons even after King RD got jumped on, so they will claim their objective, but felt retake the kill lead 8-7.
You know, very important to make that rotation. Just fix Paradise's lane a little bit, and now 4 points in cleave. He can jungle at max speed. No, just great stuff. 20 minutes for 10-minute runes, though. Yeah, just found all the gold. Nobody was up here. Nobody was taking him. Neither Illusion or FCR. But that's where actually for Wolf Team, smoke up. They don't want to push too far into the triangle. They could look back to the rune, but they're really just gunning for Fade with this ward, and does Fade have teammates? Question, he's sticking around.
Okay.
They have damage, though.
Jump. Off the side kick, that's going to help out. But yeah, look at those siphons coming in. Ein gets in there for the heal as well. Drops the tombstone. I think Fade is still dead, but KJ is actually going to clean the tombstone up, and all of a sudden, yeah, Ein needs help. Here comes Solji, though. Pops the haste rune, marches his way in, looking for the Storm Spirit first. Not enough mana to really zip here, so Suits, he's just going to try and go for the kill. He does drop Illusion low, but not low enough. Now Solji continues the fight, but he's starting to lose his backup. He has lost the support. Ein goes down. Those Mortimer Kisses might just actually clip onto Illusion. Oh, boy. He showed his face for a half a second, and it does cost him, but now Solji and HFN are having a bit of a fight here. HFN popping the refraction. Will it be enough? Well, not if Fade gets involved here. And the DP finally returns after dying at the very start of the fight to clean things up and save his buddy.
No, that still ends up being a very expensive trade in both directions, but at the end of the day, your Ember Spirit gets another 3 kills. He gets a quite big chunk of gold in his back pocket. Wolf Team don't have the tower anymore, so it's not like they could have flooded the TP of the Enigma there to save that team fight, so I think you're extremely happy here if you're Felt. And that was all time that Paradise was just farming on the Sven, so your Sven wasn't getting involved. Their carry ended up dying. Their Storm Spirit went down, and the Enigma had already claimed the tower, so not really that much spent time there as mid. Should be able to, yeah. Getting a little scary, though, but he's definitely back to base now.
Tried for a Sleight of Fist, didn't hit. Not sure that would have been enough damage anyway, but yeah, Zeus has to... I was going to say he has to fall back, but he's going to try and take a camp first, so... Trying to see if he can maybe wait this out until he is entirely empty on mana before he leaves, although
He's
I don't
gonna
know.
try and wait for Rune.
We come back to the Falcon Blade pickup, right? He has enough mana to technically fight here if Illusion went any further forward, so... He's got an Illusion Rune on the Storm. He can fill it back up quite nicely, maybe get himself out of trouble the next time he is initiated on, but... In the meantime, ET, how we doing on the farm for the Templar Assassin? He just finished off the Dragonlance, so... This is a little bit of a... maybe slower, more farming-oriented build-up, right? We're not going to see any sort of Blink or Deso Rush out of him this time.
No, he's just really poor. That's like the hard way to put it. HFN's timings just don't really exist right now. It's twofold, because one part is you weren't able to farm that much versus the Death Prophet because your lane was kind of in tatters as top. What a rebound. FCR. But King RD, he can't use the Black Hole just yet out of fear of getting canceled by the Ember, so he has to leave his Marcy and does get the trade out. So 1 for 1 at the end of the day, despite 4 heroes arriving from Felt, but okay.
Yeah, really, really nice play out from that Marcy, right? The rebound, the unleash, and that created enough time for HFN to take a tier 1 tower here, so... Think about it, Wolf Team will win that exchange. 1 for 1, but the objective being claimed gets them a little bit more money, and it buys time for HFN, because, as you say, he is still a ways behind the cores on the Felt side, but you just continue to farm up in the jungle. This is a little bit of what I was sort of worried about. Going back to that group stage matchup once again, they gave HFN way too much time, but this time they are trying to pressure him up, but KJ is in the right place to step in front of that, and with the TPs coming in, they're going to look to turn this. Here comes King RD. They've got to make sure they're not grouped up for the Black Hole. Paradise is coming in, though. He's got the stun. King RD needs to be careful, but can someone save him? Oh, no saving needed. Paradise walked into the Black Hole, but they still have the damage. They're trying to turn this fight. Paradise is just going to hack his way through Zeus. They find the kill. They'll take down King RD as well. And HFN is on the run here. I don't think they'll catch up to him. But ET, that's a teamfight win with Black Hole being committed on the opposing side, so Felt have to be very happy about that.
Yeah, and what a silence from Fade. Hits the tree man, just stops everything there. And with how far of a zip that was, it just ended up being a little too heavy-handed. And then you get punished for it. You know, Paradise gets hit for, you know, all of 5 seconds there, but then you just Warcry and run away. That's where the, again, Sven versus TA matchup. I just don't know if HFN is going to have enough gas in the tank to make this game happen. And, oh, Hoodwink's dying. Yeah, just tower TPs, tier 1. But that's where mid, Exorcism's on the tier 1 as well. The pressure's on your buildings. You're getting forced back as well. You've got the kisses, but, well, here's your fight.
FCR is just going to start pushing in there, looking for whatever damage he can. King RD throws down the Midnight Pulse, so they will take out Ein, but they need to get this Tombstone out of the way, and they just don't have the means to do it, so... They've just got to fall back, which means the tower should still fall here. There we go. A little bit more time. They do find it, but Zeus, he's angling like he wants to go back in. They know that the Exo's ending, so they are going to make the move on to Fade. And that is a mega kill streak brought to an end, so HFN suddenly gets a sizable influx of gold, ET, and... Well, he jumps over the Ember. He's only a couple hundred behind the likes of Fade and Paradise now.
Yeah, he's really starting to catch up. He actually has, what, 600 gold, and he's going to have the Adesso, so really saves HFN's game a little bit here, because his timings were certainly slowing down, as well as not getting any help from your Enigma right now, because King RD actually opted to not go for the Wraithback build, so is playing maybe a little bit more selfishly. Does have the sidekick at least to kind of help him out here, as, again, mid, Suits, making a play happen. Hoodwink just can't react to the aggressive zip, and now Solji
FCR tried to time that. Tried to rebound to where he thought the Sleight of Fist was going to end, which if he hits that, then he's just playing on a completely different level from anyone else in the server, but not able to make it happen. Zeus, though, with the haste, is still looking for something. He does spot out the Undying. Ein's going to throw down a Tombstone here. Not really going to help him survive, as he will still fall. And I think now they realize, yeah, the Tombstone's up there, and they should clean that up as well for a little bit of bonus gold. Zeus takes it. 125 into his pocket. Gets stunned up by the creeps, though. So there's your reward, but Wolf Team are starting to get themselves going here in a situation where Felt... I mean, you see them trying to make some moves. It's just the last couple have backfired, but They are going to give it another go, ET. 3-man smoke into the jungle. They drop a ward as they go. If they could find HFN, this would be pretty big, but he's using that tier 1 tower for cover, and now the scan just revealed them.
Yeah. But, well, that stopped KJ from... No. It still goes down, you know, just tempts fate. And you have HFN as well, just throwing TA traps, popping them immediately. This is where Wolf Team would really love an engagement on their side of the map, so that way they can just take a pick or two, walk immediately into Roche, and then suddenly Felt are playing versus that first Aegis. But yeah, Felt
Okay.
side, God Strength, Exorcism, but we'll take it for ourselves. And if you're not going to look at us, they're doing a lot of intense drawing on the minimap, saying, okay, this is the only way our teammates can go. And KJ, well, here we go. Does he get the kisses in? He has to kind of just throw it freestyle here, but it's too late.
Yeah. Nobody actually got in position. They're still trying to kind of push a little forward, which is very, very unusual. But hey, maybe they can catch a straggler. Ein has separated a little bit from his teammates. He is going to get hit up. He is in the Flesh Golem form, though, so this isn't going to be easy. But, oh, I say it's not going to be easy. They don't even get it, but that's because HFN and Suits went after the actual Aegis carrier. They took down the Ember Spirit, but I don't know if they're ready to take a secondary fight here. But King RD, he's looking for his moment. Can he get a Black Hole off? No, he's going to get silenced instead. Trying to wait that out. Silence has been removed. Can he turn around to help HFN? Because the TA just has to sit here and wait. But there's the Black Hole. The Blakean first. Gonna catch two. God, the patience from King RD. Patience to the point, ET, of almost missing the window. But HFN forcibly extends it. And if you're Felt, I understand you feel like you have the TA trapped. But there is an Enigma on the other team. You can't forget about his positioning.
Yeah, he just did a really good job of hiding in the trees, just avoiding all possible vision that could have been placed. And, well, you just end up in a situation where you think you can make this play happen because you have this ward in their triangle already, but you're actually just still blind in the night to a certain extent. And then just losing everybody. There was nobody to cancel that black hole. It's just tough stuff. And that's your Aegis. Of course, an Aegis that was really never going to be your way to just immediately push. It's not like the Ember Spirit can actually, you know, force anything like that, but you also can't really give it to Sven because Sven Aegis is classically bad. It is supremely average. Of course, if you die, then you lose God Strength, and then you're in not the best spot, but this game is really going to start to slow down now, and it's going to slow down when Felt do not want it to. They want to get onto a tier 2 with this next Exorcism. They want to just go, go, go while Wolf Team are still finishing up their big items, but you let these BKBs finish for Wolf Team, and then, well, Felt, how do you actually take a team fight after that? It's all physical damage then. I don't know. It gets very murky after that. And Sooths, well, does he avoid the gank top? Because they're pinging him out, but does it connect? Oh, yeah, it does. He just
wow.
TPs.
Okay. I mean, he had enough mana. He could have just gone for the ball TP play, but he is going to get taken down. Of course, there is going to be a trade in the middle lane. Paradise will fall. Ein dropping low as well as FCR is just going to basically suicide for that one, but what is going to work out here? Fade is going to pop the Exo, so they are committed to this engagement. Can they catch anyone? They get onto King RD with the bushwhack into the sharpshooter, and Illusion's going to do it himself. So, overall, trade will go Felt's way. 3 for 2. It's unfortunate that Paradise is dead for that, but at least his teammates were able to regroup and avenge his death.
Yeah. Something for your, for the cost of doing business there. Yeah, and Sven was just very far up. He's still looking for his BKB, but now he's been caught. Jiffen is actually ahead of the Sven right now, which is not the spot that you really would like to be in. We also, aside from the one smoke movement, haven't seen Felt really put too much pressure on that triangle. Haven't seen any sentries blocking it up. Haven't seen anybody really get in there, which is, again, a little bit troublesome because HFN is just walking towards this BKB, but the walk is happening, and then once he has it, well, you are going to start to have those issues where the fights are going to drag out just a little bit longer. And unless your Sven is just point blank blink stunning, you can react to a lot of Felt's jump. It's where you can't say the same for Wolf Team. If Wolf Team catch you, you're probably dead. It's a big reason why Sooths is still in this game, because he keeps on finding heroes that simply can't react to him in time. And it looks like they're going to do another smoke up here from Wolf Team.
Who has this? There it is. KJ's got it. So, smoke play out. They're going to move their way across the river. Not a bad first place to check, but there's actually no one here at the moment. But Well, if the smoke play doesn't really work out, ET, they still now control the high ground pretty easily, because Felt don't really have any vision in this area on their own side. But well, they're going to go for a smoke play themselves. They're moving directly towards their opponent. Ein pops, KJ does as well, so everybody knows what's up, and now everybody's going to back away. Seuss, that's a little bit dangerous, but King RD actually goes in first. They're going to get the stun onto Ein. They should be able to take him down quickly, but Seuss is in trouble. Can they save him? Was that a black hole? It was an attempt at it, I guess, but it's canceled almost immediately. But Paradise does still end up dying, but at this point, Wolf Team really did think that was just going to be Seuss going after the runes, so they weren't in position. The TA really wasn't even there.
Yeah, no, it was not what they were expecting. In addition to that, King RD, yeah, just cancels his own black hole, just gets really scared, and in doing so, of course, you die so quickly from the cleave. He's standing behind the person that Sven is hitting, so you just end up dying. You don't have your BKB yet, so not like he could have stuck it for all too long. The Ember was already on his way, but yeah, just a little bit of an uncharacteristic misplay from Wolf Team, because that's not how I expected a team fight to blow up in their face. You do get your BKB on your TA still, but just a very strange team fight. And then Black Hole on CD, so minute 20.
Yeah, the only thing that makes that even remotely salvageable for Wolf Team was that they did kill Paradise, but a weird exchange overall. But hey, HFN continues to farm. Sooth survived that fight, considering he was the one that kind of got caught in the river in the first place, so his own BKB coming in handy here, and timings are coming together, right? Storm already has his, just got it on the TA. You're not going to be picking one up on King RD anytime soon. He does have the Ogre Axe, but those other two components are, well, not exactly going to be coming along imminently. He doesn't really farm quite that quickly, but they are trying to take a fight in the top lane. HFN gets caught and taken down. Illusion gets the kill. KJ now trapped in the river as well, and, well, can't really do it. They can lose a lot of other heroes in this scenario, but if it's the TA that goes down, there's just no fight to be had.
And Paradise, he's still gunning for it, and yeah, found Suits, pops the BKB, and FCR, he's trying to cause problems, but with a bit more mana, I think FCR might lose his life in Suits' stead, which is ideal, but also Suits not popping his BKB really was kind of tempting fate there. If a rogue silence came out from Fade, then maybe that could have just blown up in his face, but barely able to walk away. And thankfully for Wolf Team, Roche is still a good ways away, where we don't even know where he's spawning up yet. So not going to be able to turn that immediately into Roche. But Suits, well, he's in, and he knows Paradise doesn't have anything.
Well, does he have the damage to find the kill, though?
Running out of mana.
He's going to try for it anyway. He knows Paradise is in the tree. He will find the kill, but now he's trapped in the fight. The Mortimer Kisses, though, not going to be enough covering fire. Not even really going to do much damage. So it's a 1-for-1 there. Your mid laner just kind of lays out to get a kill onto the opposing carry, but King RD is going to try to make a move. Blinks in, gets the stun onto Illusion. That allows HFN to get the meld kill, and they're going to look for a little bit more. Rebound onto Ein, locking him down as well. Dispose pulls him back into the river, and HFN grabs the double. And now that suicidal play for Suits looks a little bit better.
Yeah, just the team taking the follow-up fight and killing off some supports. Doesn't feel too bad, and we'll see in 10 seconds what Roche is looking like, but should be some free damage onto this tier 2 tower, if not just taking it in its entirety. But let's see. How kind are you here, Roche? Because I'm looking at the timings. I feel like both teams are really raring to fight. Nobody really has anything in queue. And minute 17, yeah, isn't really going to favor anyone. If anything, this might give enough time for King RD to actually finish his BKB, but he's got to really start focusing on farming, though. If he just ends up pairing up with HFN, then HFN's going to take all the farm in front of his face, and then that BKB actually might not be online for this next big team fight.
Yeah. Of course, if you're King RD, you want to try and stay close to your teammates because you've got Black Hole backup, but if you get the BKB, then you're pretty much golden for whatever initiation you want, so might just be worth kind of stepping away and trying forward. As speaking of trying, Suits gets jumped in on the middle lane, but there's going to be the haste rune along with his BKB, so he backs off. And Fade actually tried to make that a double initiation, but he popped his BKB for it, so Suits is going to catch him out. There's going to be the rebound from FCR into the dispose, into the damage from HFN. He is kind of hitting from the low ground there, but he's still going to find the kill. But Illusion and Paradise hit the backline themselves. KJ, King RD, and FCR all finished off. And HFN's got to get the BKB down here to make sure he doesn't get caught. But he's actually looking to go back in. Can he get Ein? He can't. As the Glimmer Cape allows him to disjoint that last attack.
Going well. They have the high ground vision here, but I feel like they should just walk away, especially because now they're the team that's going to know that Roshan is live, but they're going onto the Undying, and yeah, with another high ground ward sentry, they get it. Will the Ember just track him down, though? But he's got to be so careful here. So many fights breaking out.
HFN, he's not really going to get here in time to do anything. In fact, he stopped to farm a camp, so looks like that is finally going to be the end of the fighting, as he does have to back away, or maybe he doesn't. He's got TPs coming in. They didn't flip the outpost fast enough, so Solji has to jump away, but he doesn't have a lot of mana, and now he doesn't have any remnants to work with, so he is going to get stunned up and finished off. For HFN, that is a supreme level of confidence in your teammates, right? Those 2 TPs on the outpost, he's just pretty damn certain those will complete. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go in. I'm going to find this kill, and Elter just going to rush heroes in. Yeah, this isn't good, boys. There's going to be Fade just taken right out of the fight. The Dispos pulls Ein back, and it might be time to start avoiding this area. They've lost like 4 or 5 heroes now in the past 2 minutes, and oh boy. Well, and all that, Roche respawns.
Yeah, they just keep on fighting and walking into the high ground ward sentry, and then they just don't learn quick enough. And now what was a very contestable Roche for you before, you just got your God Strength back, is now not. It is a free Aegis and a free Ag Shard for HFN. And not to mention, he's got 4,000 gold that he's sitting on top of now. I feel like he could just buy up almost a straight Daedalus at this point, and then suddenly, well, your Sven is not feeling so strong anymore.
And this is starting to get a little bit awkward with the way that things have shifted. And Paradise is still dangerous, right? There's really no denying that. He is a very high damage dealing hero, but can he actually get in there to do the damage? Can he work against triple BKBs? Still get the physical damage he needs? It's a question that you really, if you're felt, don't even like that you have to ask yourself, but well, here we are. 6k advantage for Wolf Team, and now they're going to push onto that tier 2 tower in the top lane, so they'll either have to try and do something, which they will with the smoke gank, or prepare for a high ground defense. So they would rather try to get active, but if they lose this fight on their own side so close to their base ET, this could be disastrous design. There's Vision there. He is going to be in some trouble. Zeus comes in. There's going to be the Vortex. Fade tries for the silence, but that means King RD just goes straight in for the black hole. They'll catch out too. Paradise and Ein both taken down. Solji and Fade on the retreat, getting back into the base. Oh boy, and Fade, I understand what he wanted to do there, but Enigma still doesn't have the BKB, so you need to hold that in reserve, because if you cancel that black hole, maybe Paradise gets to actually take that fight. Instead, he's just completely taken out of it, and now, if you're Wolf Team, HFN's a little light on the health on this first life, but they could try to pressure the high ground. They're also, there you go, trying to hunt Illusion. They're able to take him down, so Hoodwink is out for 45 unless he wants to buy back, and I don't know. They can't really afford to buy back, because without the Sven, there really is no fight here.
Well, and the problem is, without the Sven, there's no fight, but a Sven without God Strength is also no fight. So even if he had buyback, probably wouldn't even tempt it, but at least Fade tries to push up that mid wave. They could look for a glyph here, and yeah, they will just do it and then try to get that top wave in to try and kick backdoor back up, but yeah, this is quite the timing for Wolf Team here. Sticking around after the Sven respawns might be a risk that they're not willing to take, but aside from Black Hole, they have so much left. FCR is going to have his BKB in 10 seconds and jump. No! Fade!
That, you can't get caught there.
Why.
Oh, Paradise is going to give it a go. He does have God Strength, but he's getting kind of jerked in between a couple of heroes here. He will finally pick one target. But it was only FCR at the end of the day, and now Solji is going to get silenced and stunned. HFN, though, doesn't want to take too much damage. You would like to not use your Aegis here if you can avoid it, but Paradise wants to force the issue. He's going to blink forward. There's going to be the stun. They've got the TA locked down. First life taken. But the Exo, well, it's only at about half duration here, but Zeus trying to make a play on the backline. He's looking for someone, just trying to peel off Paradise as well, which is working. And Paradise, he's lost the God Strength. Does he still want to go, though, without the damage? It looks like he doesn't get the opportunity to, because HFN's able to just blink himself out.
Yeah, and they do get that respect. They did use pretty much everything there, and now you cannot really make any more mistakes on this Death Prophet. And unfortunately for Fade, he didn't really get any of the gold or experience from killing those supports, so his buyback just feels real hollow. His next item is not going to come up before the next team fight, most likely. But you got some more
Uh-oh.
BKBs out, but
They're looking
yeah.
for him, though.
Oh, and they can kill him with Unleash, with Marcy, and oh, they found him. Wow.
Well, this is not going to be a fun time for Fade. 95 seconds on the sideline. HFN, though, what are you doing? He's getting rooted up. BKB's not up for 5. Seuss has got to sort of act as a distraction. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. HFN's just going to drop, and... You'd see that a little bit of a mistake there. I mean, 5 seconds was all he needed for the BKB. Just wait a little while and then go in, and you're looking a lot better there. But instead, he gets picked off, and Wolf Team... I mean, they could still find a kill if Seuss goes in, which he will, but they're not going to be able to really push any objectives at the moment. And now Seuss, with very little mana to work with, has to make sure he doesn't get caught here entirely.
Yeah, this has bought Felt a lot more time, despite having the dieback on Fade, and of course using the God Strength to kill that TA mid. It just works. Again, very uncharacteristic mistake for Wolf Team, just not using their BKBs very wisely, and then not being patient enough to wait for their cooldowns. So even though the rest of the lineup is raring to go, it's why right now the map feels kind of hollow. Wolf Team should still stay around here, but without their carry, it just feels like they can't necessarily gun down this tier 2 as they probably would. But again, this buys time for Felt, time and items, because Paradise, well, he's got Godstring back up again, but also has a full Daedalus. So if he's able to stick onto these heroes, especially onto King RD, who only has 11 armor, you might be able to take out the Enigma in a single Stormhammer with a little bit of assistance from your Hoodwink. Got to be very careful now for Wolf Team.
HFN, though, is back up. He'll TP to the outpost, so he's looking to regroup. And at this point, I mean, Wolf Team, you see they have everything, right? They've got Black Hole, they've got all their ults, they've got all their BKBs. In fact, even one on FCR, as the Marcy has done the Marcy build, BKB Skullbasher. So they are looking to go. Full 5-man smoke, pushing their way forward. But as they push forward, Felt, they fall back to the base, which is the right move for now. They need to make sure they don't actually get trapped in here, though. Seuss, speaking of trapped, yeah. Walked in, got rooted, got silenced, but it's only when the Stormhammer's coming at him that he actually pops with BKB. As HFN, he's going to make the move. They get the Black Hole down onto Solji. HFN needs a little bit more damage, but they do have the kill. Now Solji's dead, and he doesn't have buyback. He bought that Shiva's, so that takes him out of range. This is going to be a bit of a problem. There's going to be Paradise, though, trying to jump in. Can they take HFN down? Not quite yet. Cookie's going to be able to get him away. Susto on the back line, going to be able to snipe out Ein, and now FCR's in. There's going to be the jump onto the Sven. They throw everything they've got at him. And that might just be it for Felt, because there's no buyback on any of the cores now.
Yeah, I imagine that is going to be the game. They're going to hit tier 4s in a sec here, and they're going to realize, but man, it wasn't big. It wasn't flashy. It was a single soul Black Hole onto an Ember Spirit, and it's just going to work for them. And then, unfortunately, Paradise just drags himself all the way to the low ground. And, well, yeah, they're just kind of bleeding kills at this point. Stand-ins versus the world, but nah, it just feels like Wolf Team's game at this point.
Tier 4 tower will go down. That's going to be a glyph on the Ancient, but this feels like just a little bit of stubbornness there from Felt, but eventually they do concede. GG called as Wolf Team. They get one last kill for HFN there, but they will take the opening match of this best of 3.
Yeah, it just felt like Paradise was not able to keep up with HFN, even though he had the lead for a while. He had stacks to rely on as well, but just ended up, I think, taking a few too many early team fights, trying to use his Blink Dagger a little bit too early, and then HFN, who did not have a good game, falls into a pretty good game. And then, of course, around that Roche pit, Felt it's a combination of them maybe using too many of their ultimates, and then losing track of where their heroes are, and then just seeing them almost comically just walk one after each other up onto the high ground just gives away the second Roche, and then loses pretty much all momentum in this game, and then they're just constantly trying to claw it back, but they are unable to do so. And I think now Wolf Team in a pretty great spot to look at that 2-0. Of course, Felt, they're going to do everything in their power to not get eliminated here, because this is elimination. This is end of the road, but that's where Wolf Team, they would love to just move on to that next stage.
Unfortunately, if you're Felt, taking a look at the graphs at the end of this one played out pretty much exactly the way that the group stage matches did as well. They built up an early lead, but team fights start around that 25-ish minute mark, and they're just sort of, at that point, outplayed and overpowered, and you let HFN back into the game. This is what's going to happen. 14, 5, and 18, the total stat line. Considering at like 15 minutes, he was the lowest net worth core. He turns into this. You can't give him that time. You can't give him those opportunities.
Yeah, no, and it's so funny because he finishes his Dragonlance at 13 minutes. A normal TA is finishing Dragonlance Deso Treads at like 14, like 30 or something. So something really went wrong. And of course, it was just the direct counter pick in the Death Prophet in lane, and then Fade also just playing really well. But then Felt just don't know how to play with the lead, it would seem. It just feels like they can't make enough of those decisions to just keep the lead, even though they can get it in a lot of their games, and especially when they're counter picking as hard as they are, they should have it, but yeah, it just slips through their fingers. And now, well, with the way that it goes, I think coming into the second game, okay, Felt have choice, so they do get one more last pick draft here, but if they lose this, then definitively Wolf Team was just better coming into the lobby today.
Yeah. If you lose back-to-back games with pick advantage, I don't really know what to tell you, but we'll see. Felt are going to be changing things up, presumably a little bit here, so we'll see if those changes are enough for them to keep fighting in this series, or if Wolf Team will be advancing with a 2-0 sweep. So stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break.